I was going to ask you, are there any other producers that you would like to see in future seasons?
In future seasons?
Yeah.
Well, if they're going to stick with like these kind of companies, AOMG, I really, really like Gray, but I would really like to see like maybe Cjamm Malone. I really, really like Cjamm Malone as a producer. From YG, it's kind of weird because my favorite YG producer is actually Choice 37. But he hasn't really done too much, but I would like to see him from YG. And I mean, Doki and Quiet are just going to be
just get rid of Millionaire.
They've been mainstays in the show for like 2 or 3 seasons now, right? And for the kind of, I guess, independent group, it could be really anyone as long as... It's really sad that Brand New Music wasn't in this because I think Brand New Music would have been way better than Gil and Mad Clown. Yeah. And you got plenty of guys in Brand New Music, right?
Bring in that SB, you know.
Yeah.
Let me think. I think it'd be really cool because they kind of went this way with Zion.T. It would be really cool to bring in Primary
as an independent
producer,
one. I would really like to see that as well.
I know they won't do this, but I actually think it'd be really cool if they brought in one of the more mainstream K-pop producers and see what they can do.
Like Black Eyed Pilsung.
Yeah, Black Eyed Pilsung, Brave Brothers.
Yeah, because I mean, Zion.T is not really known for producing a lot of hip-hop songs, right?
Yeah.
Actually, not known, I should say. Yeah. But he kind of stepped it up in this season, so...
Yeah. Or even... Chancellor, like Double Sidekick,
that would be
right?
really,
like
Double Sidekick, yeah.
Like maybe some people that are more R&B tied rather than straight fire hip hop tied.
Because you know, with the producers, you kind of dictate the feel of certain songs, right? Like Gray, I think, is a really good producer because he can make songs that are kind of like really, really hard hitting and rap heavy, but he can also make songs that are really, really catchy, have a nice hook, a singer, possibly, kind of more R&B songs as well.
Yeah.
So I thought the reason why the Zion.T songs and the Gray songs are rating or charting so high is because they have that dual appeal.
Yeah.
Like some of the songs that we are going to talk about, or we won't talk about, that have charted really well are, you know, some of them are really rippity rappy, and some of them are, you know, very song catch hook based, you know, very catchy songs. So I'd be really interested to see, you know, Primary, who I think fits that mold, or, you know, Chancellor, guys like that.
Or like Crush.
Yeah. Crush is also a known producer, like an R&B producer. Pretty much anyone who's related to Zion.T could probably do it.
Yeah. But just open it up a little bit because because maybe some of those people aren't known for producing hip hop beats, they might be great at it, right? You don't know.
Yeah, because I think this season, rather than last season, this season it kind of showed a new side to a lot of these producers, right? Like now Zion.T, I think, has gained some more producer points because a lot of people criticize, at least we do, Zion.T of kind of making the same sounding songs. And when I heard some of the songs that he produced, I was like, oh, I would never guess this was a Zion.T song. You know?
Yeah, I was trying to look for an easy way to look it up, well, without scrubbing through the entire episode, but like, it might be like Zion.T with 2 other people that like, you know, helped him out, you know? But it doesn't matter. When you get Crush, you get his homies, right?
Yeah.
Right? If you get Primary, you get Primary's homies, right? That's part of the deal.
You get Gray, you don't need anyone else.
You don't need anyone else. I mean, you should probably call up Cjamm Malone, or you should call up J Park maybe a little bit.
Cjamm Malone.
Another difference in this season is they actually had auditions, separate auditions in LA, in America. And the guest star was superstar rapper Timbaland.
Hey, but Timbaland is a great producer, though.
He is. They showed like the sizzle reel of Timbaland songs, but they were all songs again from like 5-10 years ago. All right. I think rap has moved away from Timbaland in the last five years.
Maybe.
And it was pretty interesting. I mean, because most of them were just Korean people, right? Either American born, or like, for example, Super B. Super B was a dude who, actually, I read he was in all the seasons of Show Me the Money. But he went all the way to LA to audition in the LA one and somehow got in. And then for some reason, I guess for just rap credential or whatever, they let two black girls audition, which is fine, I guess, except they didn't know, they weren't Korean Thai. They didn't know Korean at all.
No.
They were just 2 black girls.
Yeah.
I
I don't they might have. I didn't see it, but they might not have even known any of the producers or any of like the famous people, right?
From what I was scrubbing before to say it didn't seem like they were like in tune to Korean hip hop or anything. It kind of seemed like they were like, yo, we need some ethnicity up in here to make this look legit, guys. Yeah. And one of them actually makes it past the auditions and flies all the way to Korea for round three. And again, she just raps entirely in English. And it was not even good rap. She was not even a good rapper. Like, she was pretty shit, right?
Like, I have some friends who rap better than that.
Yeah, I mean, I probably can. But they brought in some interesting people. I think they brought in some people with... Because Koreans, for the most part, Koreans rap the same way.
Yeah.
Right? It makes sense.
It might be a limitation of, like, the Korean language that you kind of have to rap a certain way, but they do rap very, very similar.
Right. Well, I don't think it's as a limitation as you think, because the people that they got from America, they still rapped a lot in Korean, but they have a very different flow. And so they brought in a couple of people like Flow Sick, the dude with the deep ass voice.
Yeah.
He was really good. That fat dude with the really whiny voice, which I still can't believe got cut over some other dudes. They brought in some really cool flavors. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I think G2 is also from Texas or something like that.
Yeah, but he wasn't in the American auditions. But yeah, he grew up, not grew up, but I think he spent a lot of time in Dallas, Texas. And that also shows, I think, in his rapping flow. So I think that was a good way to expand their sound, because one of the primary annoyances I've always had with Show Me the Money is that
everyone sounds
the same.
Right.
And I don't even, like, I think I'm still wasn't really satisfied with that even in this season. Like, I still think a lot of people sounded way too similar.
There's a lot more room for kind of parody and more diversification of the rap flows and styles, right?
Yeah. What else is there to complain about? Oh, so after the audition, right, which is pretty stupid, they also have these like challenges, right? Challenges so that, you know, they figure out who gets kicked out and who doesn't.
Right.
And the one that I hate the most is they have these 1v1 battles.
I think I came in during this time.
I don't know.
Okay.
No, that was the team disc battle.
Oh, okay. Go on.
This is before that. So this is like the round 3. There's like 40-some people, whatever. They all need to pick one person to battle against, and so then half of them go home. Right. The fundamental problem with this system is that they can have 2 shitty people battle each other, which makes a shitty person go to the next round. And then they can have 2 really good people battle each other, and only one of them can go to the next round.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like random order of who gets to choose who. It's not like in Produce where like the higher ranking you are, the more advantages you kind of get.
Yeah,
right?
it's seeded.
And so it turns out a lot of that. I think they did a little better this year, because last year you always want to avoid
the huge
the big dudes, right? Yeah. And if you're unlucky, the last 3 people might all be big dudes. It depends on how the dude draws the random draw, right? So like if he doesn't draw a big dude's name and they choose somebody, they're going to be left there, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's such a dumb system when
it's
shitty
really
people,
random.
Yeah. Like when you have 2 great people going up against each other, one of them has to go home early while 15 other shitty people get passed by because of the random draw.
Yeah.
It boggles my mind.
It ruins the show. It ruins, like, anything that's a competition. You obviously want the best of the best kind of facing off in the later rounds, right? You don't want, like, in basketball, you don't want to have, like, 2 shitty teams playing in the finals. It doesn't make any sense, right? You want the superstars.
And that's a problem, right? In basketball where, like, one conference is way better than the other conference, right? So, like, the final is just not as exciting, right?
Yeah.
It's very, I'm trying to relate it to that. But it's like that. So, for example, spoiler alert, but the winner, I'm not going to tell you who, but the winner of this season was knocked out last season because of this very reason.
Yeah.
Where it was a really good person versus a really good person.
Yeah.
And so...
And they both were really good.
They're both really good. One apparently was slightly better than the other. and he was knocked out really early in the show because of this dumbass shit.
Yeah, and he wins this season.
Yeah, and he probably actually, even before winning this season, he probably was the most famous in the Korean mindset of almost all of the future like top 10 people in Show Me the Money 4. Like he or at least according to articles, he was charting, he was being featured on way more songs than like Basic was, than Microdot was, than like all these other Incredible was, right? Like Mino or Mino, fuck his name, okay? Fuck his name. It's Mino.
It's Mino.
But why does he say Mino? Why? Tell me why.
Sounds cooler.
It doesn't sound cooler. Sounds dumber. Anyways, let's go move on.
Okay.
It's the dumbest system. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Like, you guarantee shitty people making it farther than they should by doing your system like this.
So let me ask you this. If you were to get rid of the system and you wanted to do something a little bit more kind of objective and seeding wise, how would you do it?
They just shouldn't have these like one-on-one battles. I'm not sure how they would do it because the whole idea is they need a quick way to eliminate people, of them, right? And so what they should do is they should be more, they should be less forgiving in the earlier rounds so that they don't end up with 46 people, right? They should just, after the beginning stuff, they should just not pass as many people. Because I think this season, it was very clear who the best three were.
Yeah. And
actually, maybe not even best three. It was very clear who the number one, number two were.
Yeah.
Very early on.
And everybody was like afraid of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this season just didn't have an underdog really that rose up and like killed it.
Kind of like practiced really hard and
to throw a wrench in the plan. But they should just be more. They should be less forgiving in the earlier rounds so that they don't end up with this 1v1 thing. Now, this whole 1v1 battle gives them episodes, right? It gives them time, so they probably need to think of something else. But I think they can do more team battle stuff instead of these 1v1s.
Yeah. See, for me, like, I think it's kind of a weird juxtaposition because with things like, Produce 101, like, girls are actually coveted because of their ability to work with others, because of their teamwork, right? But, like, for rapping and things like this, it's really hard to kind of, judge and rate somebody on their ability to kind of get along with another rapper because rapping is more inherently independent kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I wouldn't know what I would want to do instead of what they're doing, but I feel like one-on-one battles are a little bit necessary, but I would probably change the way they kind of set up the one-on-ones.
Like, I think that the entire idea of one-on-ones is not the worst thing. But the problem is the Korean hip-hop scene wants to be hip-hop, but they're still Korean.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they want that bravado. They want that quote-unquote diss shit.
But they still have to be polite.
But you still got to be kind of polite.
You can't be too mean.
Yeah. Right? And you still got to kind of get along. Right?
Yeah.
Because what's also dumb is that when they pick their 1v1 battle opponent, they still both have to work together. It's not a diss battle, right? This is not a diss battle. They still need to work together, choose a beat, practice together, right? So they've heard each other's verses 100 times, right? And then they perform it together. It's not a battle. It's just, it's like a 1v1. They work together. Who has the better verse? But there are, I think, many other ways to kind of do that.
And that was really strange because I think I did come through in this part. And because the way they choose their beats as well. There's one scene where a guy, he could really only rap to one style of beat. And then they're both like so good. I can't remember who it was, but they were both,
it was,
they both really liked the
Zico's brother and, Myeongdo or something.
Myeongdo, yeah. So both of them were like rapping really well, and they kept like tying. And so they're like, "Okay, do you guys have any more verses that you guys can, rap?" And the guy was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll let you choose the beat." And it's just like that doesn't make any sense. You want this guy to be out. You want to move up. Like, don't let him choose a beat that he's comfortable with. Make him choose a beat that's uncomfortable for him.
Right. It's still gotta be polite, right?
It's kind of weird.
Korea.
It's kind of weird.
Still gotta be polite.
Yeah.